modifying itself as experience, then we objectify that and we call it body, mind, and universe. And then we go down further in the rabbit hole and say energy, which physicists define as the ability to do work, is the same as matter. Matter and energy are inseparable. And I'm raising my hands, I'm speaking to you, that's energy, and they're inseparable, and every schoolboy or schoolgirl knows the equation E is equal to mc squared. But then again, further down the rabbit hole, neither matter nor energy can be created or destroyed. But since matter and energy are concepts of experiences and consciousness, it's obvious then that consciousness can also be neither created nor destroyed. Consciousness is eternally in the eternal now, modifying itself as experience in the form of experience that we call matter, energy, and concepts based on that. So all experience can be summarized as the acronym SIFT, S-I-F-T. Sensations, which include sense perceptions, images, feelings, thoughts. And then thought, of course, is the interpretation of that experience, and they're entangled. If you change a thought, you change a perception. If you change the perception, you change the interpretation of the thought. If you like it, you call it an emotion. If you dislike it, you also call it an emotion. And then, of course, that generates imagination, which are images in our own consciousness. But there's no experience that is outside of SIFT. Consciousness is sifting itself as experience that we call mind, body, universe. So that little baby, okay, is playing with a toy. It has no religious constructs, no theological constructs, no philosophical constructs, no scientific constructs, because they're all stories. There's interpretations of sense perceptions, which we call thoughts. And then we elaborate those theories and we go deeper down the rabbit hole. Mathematical constructs, which constructs of space-time and causality. And as we do that, we forget that the ground state of all these modified states is just pure consciousness. And that's who we are. We are that consciousness which is all possibilities before the story. We are a species of consciousness. An incarnation, as the Indian texts often say, of Vishnu, and the evolution of what we call species is actually the evolution of species of consciousness. And when we stop identifying with these transient modified states, we know ourselves as that pure consciousness. And that is the freedom from all constructs, including the construct that there's something called a mind, including the construct that there's something called a body, and including the story that there's something called the universe. That's a human story. If you say, I'm a body, which one are you talking about? You don't have the same body you had today that you had 2 years ago, or when you were a baby, or when you were a teenager. If you say you are a mind, which thoughts are you identifying with? If you say we live in space-time, then what happened to yesterday? Where is yesterday now? Where is 5 minutes now? Where is a second ago now? You see, all experience is ungraspable. Whether it's a thought or an emotion or a sensation or a perception, you can't grasp it. You can't grasp past, you can't grasp the future, but you cannot grasp now, because it's over before I finish the sentence. The first part of my sentence is over. That's why Wittgenstein said, we are asleep. Our life is a dream. But once in a while we wake up enough to know that we are dreaming. So what I'd like you to do right now as you're listening to me, just be aware of that which is listening. That awareness is the only reality, because it is not in time. Time is also a construct. So, please wake up. Because the dream has turned into a nightmare. Right? Our collective dream is, what is our collective dream right now? It's violence, it's terrorism, it's eco-destruction, it's climate change, it's the extinction of species, it's mechanized death, and now the scenario that if we don't wake up, consciousness itself will say the human species was an interesting experiment, but it didn't work. I have 4 minutes, and I thought what I'd do with that 4 minutes is share with you a song that George Harrison wrote when I met him in 1988. I spent a month with him in England. We had the same conversation, and then he dropped me to the airport, and on a piece of napkin paper, he had the lyrics of the song, and he gave me a CD, and the song was never published till after his death. So, as a tribute to my friend George Harrison, the universe doesn't exist, it's in you. You are the universe. The body is in you, the mind is in you, the universe is in you. So please play this song.
Starts to tilt. And in a room of mirrors, you can see for miles, but everything that's there is in disguise. Every word you've uttered, every thought you've had, is all inside the file.